Alright everybody, Super Fan here for Mustang Weekly Update number 36 on this Friday. So, lots and lots of stuff to talk about in this video, so I'm going to try and go as quickly as possible. First, a few little updates on the Mustang real quick here. Almost at 19,000 miles. Some of you have been asking about my miles per gallon recently, and so with this tune, I'm at 25.5 miles per gallon. Is a pretty steady average I've been getting recently, which is, I'd say, 1 to 1.5 mile per gallon lower than what it was before the tune. But then again, I've been thinking, and one thing I've noticed is I seem to get a little worse gas mileage whenever I'm using Sunoco gas, which is what's just near me and easy normally. Whenever I put in BP or Shell, I normally get closer to 27, and I noticed that the first week that I had the tune, I had BP in there, and I was getting 27 pretty regularly, and that is considered a top tier gas, which Cobb recommends. Sunoco isn't on the list of top tier gases, and that whole thing, whether top tier gas is even a thing or whether it's real or what, I don't know, but that's what they recommend, and so that might be part of the reason why. Next time that I fill up, I'm gonna put in BP just to see if I get that difference in fuel economy. But anyway, so that's it as far as that whole thing goes. The other thing related to the Mustang is I got my recall notice in the mail from Ford for several weeks ago. I mentioned the recall, and you can go watch that video for the whole skinny on the recall and everything. But so I got my letter for the recall, which means I can get it fixed any time now. But I'm going to be out of town for the next couple of weeks, so I'll do it when I get back. And that leads me to the next big thing, and that is there will not be a weekly update for the next 2 weeks. And that's simply because I'm going to be getting married, as many of you know. And so I'm getting married this time next week at Disney World in Orlando, Florida, actually, having a destination wedding, and we're obviously very excited about it. And so for obvious reasons, there will be no weekly updates during the week where we're down at Disney for the wedding. And then the following week, we're going to Aruba for our honeymoon. And so, of course, it'll be kind of hard to film a weekly update and edit a weekly update, and most importantly, upload a weekly update. Any of you that have stayed at a hotel with free internet, you always know that it's not very good, and certainly not suitable for uploading a 15-minute long video. So, not going to happen, unfortunately, but there will be a couple of videos. Now, since I've been so busy with, the new house that I've been moving everything into and getting ready for the wedding, I haven't had any time to work ahead and film, 2 extra car reviews for the 2 weeks I'll be gone, but I will be uploading a video of just the sound of the F-Type, and it's going to be a long video because I record lots and lots of sound, so I'm going to be posting that early next week, probably Monday, and then I'll be doing a vlog I'll be posting a vlog on Friday this time next week, and that vlog, I have a bicyclist in front of me and he's not on the side of the road like he should be, so I have to go slow because I don't want to run over a bicyclist. That would be very bad. So anyway, and the other video I'll be posting this next Friday will be a vlog talking about all the reasons why I really love the Mustang. And this is something that I've actually given a lot of thought about over the past, 8 months or so that I've owned the car now. And so it'll list all the reasons why I love it. And it's a very personal video because it has to do with my car history and the cars that I've had in the past, and how this is similar to some of those and how it's different, and the goods and bads of it. And so that'll be a really good video to summarize all of my experiences over the past 8 months or so and why I like this car and love it so much. And so that's going to be a video that'll be posted next week. The following week there probably won't be anything at all. I will be filming probably a little lifestyle kind of vlog whenever we're down at Aruba, just showing palm trees and water and the fun we're having and stuff. So that'll probably be posted up obviously once I get back, which leads me to the other big thing about this whole 2-week hiatus is that whenever I get back, of course, I'll be living in the new house that we got recently, and so the blue room will be no more. For the news portion of the weekly updates, that will no longer be in the blue room, but there will be some updates and enhancements. It won't all happen right off the bat, but there will be a couple of new changes whenever I get back in August and start doing the weekly updates again, and there will be definite improvements, and I'll be working towards making the videos a little more professional while still having a casual feel to them, because I don't want to turn into Fastlane Daily or the nightly news. I want to keep it casual. I like doing it that way, but just a little bit more mature, I guess I should say. So gonna be doing that, so there's lots of exciting things, so definitely stay tuned. I know it sucks not having any content there for a week or so, but it'll definitely be worth it. So just stick with me, I promise. It'll be awesome. Another thing to mention is definitely follow on Instagram and Twitter, because although I won't be able to upload a full video or anything like that, I will be able to post little clips on Instagram and Twitter. So on Instagram, I'm EcoBoost fan, and on Twitter, I'm Super Dorks fan. And so you can follow me on there, and I keep people up to date a lot better on that versus the videos, which obviously take time to edit and produce and film. So definitely follow me on the social media stuff to stay up to date on everything, even though I'm not going to be posting videos. So another very big announcement that I have is that obviously, as you could probably tell, I've found myself in better financial times. You know, if you follow the videos for over a year here, then you'll know that I picked up an additional job to kind of help with my whole money situation a year ago, back when I got the Mini and all that kind of stuff. And you know, obviously, like I said, because I'm able to get married now and we're able to get a house and stuff, I have found myself in better financial times, thankfully. And so because of that, I'm excited to announce that I'll be going back to doing YouTube full time once I get back from my honeymoon. So that's huge. That was the biggest limiting factor, is, you know, so many of you have asked for more videos, more vlogs, and all that kind of stuff is very time consuming. And so doing all this stuff that I've already been doing for, you know, the reviews that take a lot of time, and the weekly updates, which take a good amount of time as well, I just didn't have any time to do any additional videos, you know, and juggling this whole YouTube channel and also this job was just really tough and kind of stressful, to be honest. And so I'm really glad that I'll be able to go back to doing YouTube full time like I did back when I had the BRZ. A lot of that time when I had the BRZ, I was full time, and it really helped, you know. And so I'm excited because it's going to give me a lot more time. I'm probably not going to be doing more videos immediately, but over the next couple of months, I'm going to slowly start doing more vlogs. I would like to ideally even do 2 car reviews a week. We'll see how things go as far as the car review opportunities that are given to me and things like that. But it's going to mean that I'm going to have time to do a lot of trips. I'm going to be going to several different places here in the fall and filming some really sweet cars for you guys. I got a whole list of cars that I'm planning to review in these other states, and I will give notifications as well and give you guys heads up a week or 2 in advance before these trips as well, and announce the dates and stuff, so that if there's others of you out there that haven't offered your cars already but would like for me to review them, or just want to have a little get together, you know, definitely send me a message, you know, once I post all the dates and whatnot, and hopefully we can set some stuff up. I'm really excited to be doing a lot of road trips here in the fall. There's going to be several, probably at least 4 or 5 trips, and could be even a few big ones. So definitely stay tuned for that, but I'm very excited to finally have more time here soon to be, you know, devoting all of my time to the YouTube channel, because this truly is my passion. And as many of you know, I wanted to pursue this full time, and that was part of the reason why I sold the BRZ, so that I could be able to afford to continue to do this whole thing. And so it's going to be very exciting, and I'm just really pumped, and I think it's going to make the channel a lot greater and give you guys a lot more content that you'll enjoy. And so yeah, I'm just super excited for all that. The last little thing I want to mention here real quick before I go to the weekly news is briefly I want to mention, a few people asked me about whether I'm going to this meetup that's happening here in Pittsburgh this weekend, and I wasn't invited to it. That's a whole long story, and I don't want to create any drama, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore, except that I wasn't invited, and that's okay. And so, but I just wanted to mention this just because I don't want any of you to think that I don't want to meet you, or that I'm just too busy. I mean, I am very busy with the wedding, but I would certainly make time to meet you guys if I had the opportunity. But what I am going to be doing is the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix is this Saturday afternoon, and it's a public event. It's on a huge golf course. There's lots of different car companies that have all their cars set up there and stuff, and it's a great time, and I go every year regardless. And so I will be there, and so I know a lot of you that are, you know, going to be around Pittsburgh or whatever for the meetup, or for whatever reason just going to the Vintage Grand Prix. It's a good event to go to regardless. It's awesome. So but anyway, I'll be walking around there Saturday afternoon. So again, for those of you that would like to meet up, I know some people have already messaged me and you know, want to get an autograph or anything like that, pictures. Just follow me on the social media stuff, Instagram and Twitter. I'll be posting up, hey, I'm here, or whatever. And so those of you that want to meet up can reach out to me individually and say, you know, and ask me where I'm at or whatever, and I can hang out in a few designated places and, you know, be able to meet some of you guys, because I definitely do. I love meeting you guys. I meet some people from time to time at Cars and Coffee and just at random places. I was at IHOP today and I met someone, and I love just meeting people at random places, and so I'm very excited to hopefully meet a couple of you already at the Vintage Grand Prix. And so it's not a meetup or anything formal, it's just I'll be walking around. Send me a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever, and hopefully, we can meet up and say hello. Otherwise, if you just happen to run into me or you see me, just say hi. It'd be great to meet any of you. And so, yeah, so that's how I'm kind of going to be handling that whole thing. And it should be very exciting. But yeah, so I'll be doing that Saturday afternoon, and that's that. So, but anyway, that's it for all the updates on everything. Lots of big announcements. But yeah, I'll send it back to Meet the News Desk for this week's news. Right, for this week's news, the last weekly news in the Blue Room. First story this week is about an Apollo Edition Mustang. So this is for charity. Ford made a one-off, so there's only one in the world. It's super cool, though. Obviously inspired by the Apollo missions that landed us on the moon, and so it's a very cool throwback. The Mustang kind of is made to look like the Apollo spaceships, and it's pretty awesome. So there's a lot of Ford racing bits and stuff on it. It has the GT350R rear wing, as you can see, and the biggest thing is the LEDs, the orange LEDs underneath the car that glow, and they kind of mimic re-entry. So the glow that it gets whenever it's re-entering the atmosphere, the rockets, of course, they kind of put that, and that's a very cool effect. Obviously the USA flags and stuff. It's very awesome. That's pretty amazing. Probably the best one-off Mustang for the 2015 model year here that we've seen so far, and I really like it. In addition to the cooler looks, it also has more power. They put a Ford Racing supercharger on it, so spitting out 627 horsepower and 540 pound-feet of torque as well. So it's much quicker, and so yeah, very cool that Ford's doing that. It's for charity. There's just one of them though, so I'm sure it's gonna go for big bucks, and most of us will probably never see it, sadly. Right, and so some news I'm really excited about this week. That is that the new Fiat 124 Abarth Spider was spied. So we've seen 124 Spiders running around a few times, but they've been heavily camouflaged. This is the car, remember, that's going to be based off the Mazda Miata. So Mazda and Alfa Romeo were working together on a little Roadster. Obviously the Miata is what Mazda got out of it, but there was going to be an Alfa Romeo version, but then Alfa Romeo said, well, we don't want the car because every Alfa Romeo should be built in Italy. Understandable. So Fiat said, well, we'll take it because they're all in the same Italian huge group as well. And so Fiat said, we'll take it. It's called the 124 Spider. It should be coming out fairly soon. I think Frankfurt is when they said we might see the official sheet metal. But the exciting thing was, in addition to the fact that under this camouflage, it looks like it's going to have a very accentuated nose and be a very stylistic version of the Miata. But it gets better because the standard 124 Spider was going to probably already be getting the Fiat 500 Abarth engine, which should make it sound amazing for one, and two, be faster than the Miata. Because Mazda officially said, I think this past week as well, we are not giving the Miata more power. They're sticking with the same basic little engine in it and saying just deal with it. But Fiat, the crazy Italians that they are, decided, let's just start with a better motor from the very beginning. And so we have a Fiat 500 motor, a Abarth motor, just to start. But this Abarth version of the 124 Spider that was spied here, in addition to having quad tail lamps, the spy photographer said it was a lot quicker and it sounded meaner and was able to get away from them quicker. What we're hearing is this new Spider could get the Alpha 4C engine, which would make it a whole lot faster than the Miata, and that would be one really hot little convertible. So good news there. Some other awesome Italian news. It's awesome because it's kind of the Alfa Romeo way, and that is that there's a report that came out this week in an interview. They're talking about the Alfa Romeo Giulia, and one of the engineers said, "Oh yeah, it only took us 2.5 years to make the new Giulia," and that's funny because normally to engineer a car, most car companies agree it takes between 4 and 5 years. So to do it in 2.5, one is impressive, but two normally means there's a corner or two that's been cut or a shortcut taken that other car manufacturers wouldn't dare to do. And so, Alfa Romeos, if you watch Top Gear and shows like that, you'll know that Alfa Romeos probably aren't the most reliable, not the most well put together cars either. They said one of the ways they were able to cut the development time down in this car is that it's kind of based on the Maserati Ghibli, which is already established and out there. So I think you know, it's probably just a cheaper version of the Ghibli, possibly, as far as the underpinnings at least. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of things that set it apart, but I think that's kind of how they were able to do it so much faster, which should mean it should still be a high-quality automobile, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's kind of funny just to hear that. And speaking of Mazda news, they officially priced the 2016 Mazda CX3, which is the baby crossover. And out of all these baby crossovers that are being put out by every car company every other day here, this new CX3 looks really good. I think it's probably the best looking little crossover out there. And the price that they started it at is $20,840, but it can climb all the way up to $30,000 with options and whatnot. So, you know, but that's still a really good value for what you get, I think. And so yeah, cool to hear that. And a couple Mercedes stories this week. The first is they spied the new S63 AMG Cabrio out testing, and that's no surprise. You know, we just saw the C63 Cabrio out spied testing, and you know, they were doing a convertible version of the S Coupe, and so to have an AMG version is a natural assumption that we'd all make anyway. And so here we see it in the flesh, and hopefully that'll be debuted at the Frankfurt Motor Show. Other Mercedes news is I just last week talked about how the new A45 AMG that they get over in Europe, that has a faster engine in it now, and I said that since it's the same motor that powers the CLA and GLA AMG versions, that those cars will probably also get it as well. And that's true for even the base version. So, you know, the basic, you know, AMG versions, the CLA 45 AMG and the GLA 45 AMG, both have 375 horsepower now, so it's a good 20 horsepower bump over the previous version. 350 pound-feet of torque from that same little screaming four-cylinder engine, and so it's a technological marvel, I think, that motor. But anyway, so that's good, and so it should give it a good amount of bump. But there also are some new powertrain tweaks for all the 2016 models, and they have a Dynamic Plus package now, and a bunch of other things that you can add on to it. So yeah, very cool to hear all that. And the last Mercedes story isn't great news though, and that is that there's a report here that Mercedes will be dropping the shooting brake version from the next CLS class. So the CLS, you know, obviously is a very good looking car in all forms, but the shooting brake especially was, I think, a favorite among a lot of people. And Mercedes is dropping that for some reason, which is a little confusing because they still offer some of the other wagons here in the States, but sadly they're getting rid of the shooting brake, which is probably the last model I wish they would have gotten rid of, but that is what the report is saying. Other wagon news though, and this is a good thing, Audi, there's reports they're talking with the executives at Audi, and they're saying that there will be a new RS4, and those recently have been only for Europe. We haven't gotten one for several years, but they're saying that the new RS4 that's going to be coming will of course be a wagon, because that's the way they always do the RS4 in Europe, is it's only in a wagon form. And you know, they've been removing wagons from the US market, but they said they want to bring the new RS4 here, and so they said that it's definitely on the table. They said they're still a little unsure about whether or not they actually want to bring it to America, but they said that wagon demand has started to rise, which I certainly agree with, and so they said that that could mean that this could be in the cards for them, which is awesome. I think they might be leaning towards making a sedan version, but they shouldn't. Just leave it the wagon, bring the European wagon over here, everyone will be happy, I guarantee it. So exciting to hear that. Also, in regards to the news about this RS4, they also said that it's going to ditch the V8, sadly, go back to a twin-turbo V6 engine, which is no surprise, though, with how everyone's downsizing these days, which should still be a stunning performer. So very cool to hear that. Other high-performance German car news is BMW is spied testing the new Alpina B7. So Alpina is the tuner arm for BMW, and isn't official. It's kind of like an official BMW company, but kind of not. Kind of a little cloudy there. But so the Alpina versions are always higher performance, and the B7's historically been a slightly faster car, you know, bigger price tag. But what this means is the fact that they're testing an Alpina version means there will not be a formal M7. I don't know why BMW refuses to do an M7. They've never done an M7, and I guess they never will. But it's still cool to see the Alpina version. I'm sure that'll, give people the performance fix they need if they're looking for a larger sedan that has performance. So cool to see that out testing. And for some Korean car news this week, the 2016 Kia Soul EV is now getting a new base model. It's going to be $2,000 cheaper than the current base model, and so that's good. It's still going to be around 30,000 bucks before the incentives and whatnot. So not cheap for a Kia, but then again, it's very cool to have the electric technology, and so yeah, with incentives and stuff, I'm sure it'll be even much cheaper than that. So interesting to see that. Other news is Hyundai just introduced the 2016 Hyundai Tucson, which is going to be starting at $23,595. It gets 33 miles per gallon on the highway, and in my opinion, looks exactly like a Hyundai Genesis Coupe that has been made into an SUV. The front end, very similar to the headlights on the Genesis Coupe. The rear taillights similar to the Genesis Coupe, and you know, of course, you just have the SUV body. But I think that's actually a good idea for how to style these cars, and I think it actually looks very good. It's a very handsome looking SUV, and I think that'll sell very well, especially at that price. So cool to see that. Other crossover news, so many crossover stores. I'm kind of getting sick of all of them, but this is the automotive world we live in, so I have to report on it. So Nissan is bringing their smaller crossover to the States. Now in Europe they have what's called the Qashqai, something like that. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but it's their small SUV, and they're bringing that to the States, which is very cool. Now, it looks a lot like the Rogue, and that's what I think some dealers are nervous that this car is going to bite into Rogue sales, which have been super good for Nissan here over the past year. But so what they're saying is they're going to bring this to the States. It's about 10 inches shorter than the Rogue. So it's basically a Rogue for those that don't need all the storage space but still want an SUV for whatever reason. So that's what they're kind of bringing that here for. And I'm not sure if they're going to keep the same name or change it, but it's coming. Also, they're going to be planning on bringing a Rogue hybrid to the US as well, which makes sense again with how hot the Rogue is, and everyone likes hybrids, so should be a match made in heaven. So interesting to hear that news from Nissan. And yes, so back to some sports car news. Lotus announced, well, they didn't officially announce, but there's a report here saying that they're going to be doing a convertible version of the Evora. So they're going to do an Evora Roadster, and it's going to be the same 400 series. So we're first in December going to get the Lotus Evora 400 here in the US, which will be nice. They're back on the market. They had to leave the market because they didn't have the proper airbags. Now they're bringing them back with the new airbag technology, so they'll pass all the federal regulations here, and that's great to see. And but yeah, this Roadster version, they said, is going to be 2 detachable carbon fiber panels that you have to manually remove and put behind the driver's seat. So, you know, it's like a lot of these other removable hardtop kind of deals. It's kind of like the Lamborghini Aventador Roadster's removable parts that you take off and stow away. So that's what they're going to be doing for that. Very cool, though, because we've never seen an Evora Roadster. So that's actually really exciting, and that should be on the market early next year. So cool to see that. Silverado has been restyled and has some LEDs added on, and you know, minor restyling, but kind of updates it a little bit. And I don't know, it's a mixed bag for me. I'm not sold on the looks, but they are what they are, and I'm sure that they'll still sell them like hotcakes. So yeah, that's it for all the news this week, guys. So send it back to me in the car. Alrighty, so I'll leave you guys with a nice little acceleration here, like I always do. This thing sounds with the tune. That engine note just a little more growly than it was before. And it just, this car, I will say I have gotten used to the additional power. It doesn't have the huge shock that it did when I first put it on. You kind of get used to power eventually, especially driving as much as I do. I definitely get used to things pretty quickly in this car, but it's definitely fun. And the last thing I want to say before I go is I just want to give a huge thanks to everyone that supported the F-Type review video that was posted this week. It was amazing to drive my dream car, and it was just amazing, and your support was amazing. I mean, I think it has the most likes in 24 hours out of any video I've ever uploaded. It's just it's amazing. I'm so grateful constantly for how supportive all of you guys are, and I'm really glad that you all enjoyed it so much. I knew it was going to be a very exciting video to film, and I knew that you guys would really enjoy it, and that made it even more exciting for me. And so it's just a win-win all around. A huge thanks to the owner again for providing the car to review. And so yeah, but that's it for all the updates and everything. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.